We're rolling. Where's my tobacco? I want to roll a smoke. You made me think about it. Look, it's lovely, David. Thank you very much. We're back in Pier Street, Authorised Studios. Had a lot of fun here in the past, and probably going to talk to Chris later about getting an office. Right? The keen viewers would remember the videos we did here before. One was power and balance, privilege and balance, that you did. Thank you. And short one. And then up in the vlog studio, did one with Chris called On the Jukin Gorge, when Rio made $190 million by blowing up ancient heritage. More on that later. So I'm going to run for the Senate. Well, let's rephrase that. I won't actually be running. I'll be walking slowly, steadily, and surely. Right? My running days are over. I do hold the longest standing sporting record in Scots College history for the under 17 800 metres, which I set in 1969 at Perry Lakes. And it took, I think it was 47 years for some little brat to beat that record, and good luck to him. But even though it didn't last 50 years, nearly, but it's still the longest standing record in Scots College history, and I own that. And so when I say I'm walking steadily towards a sure thing as a senator in the federal Senate when Albo calls the elections. I met Albo a couple of times and I like him. I told him I said, look mate, Hawkey, what was the word? Hawkey blasted on, right? As only Hawkey could. I filmed him, and same day as Keating at Kim Beazley Senior's funeral in St George's Cathedral. And Keating pontificated, right? As only Keating could. And I said, mate, you went out and had a crack. And of course I was talking about this stuff, you know, very close to my heart. And because Albo did give it a shot, and it cost him, the termites came out of the woodwork and put Australia back a long, long time, right, when we should have been going forward. We still haven't sorted out whether we're going to be a republic or what. We still haven't sorted out recognising blackfellas so that we, as Australians, can all benefit from their knowledge gained over a very long period of time. And, you know, the best example is the one thing even Dutton wouldn't criticise when he's trying to escape Aboriginal flags, and I'll be projecting a few while he's around there, because I've got a good projector and camper van with solar panels, and he don't want to hold a press conference on an Aboriginal flag. Well, I'm your man, Mr. Dutton. I agree with you. So so my history with the Labor Party goes back a long time, 1998, but I'm not going to be running as a Labor man. I'm going to be running as an independent. And the reason for that is and I thank the Labor Party, because besides people like Albo, and Roger Cook, who's also a friend of mine, they've done some amazing stuff, and I've served on their policy committees and learnt a hell of a lot in that time. And that's the knowledge I'll be taking with me to the Senate. And but I'm not all Labor. One of the last political meetings I went to was the Liberals at the Como Bowling Club. I've also been at meetings of the Greens. They were my first political party. People like Joe Valentine. Total respect. You know, I always ring her up on Valentine's Day. Well, I forgot this year, and say, Happy Valentine's Day. They named that after you, Joe. And if they knew about it, they would have, right? And to me, that's what Valentine's Day is, love for a woman and what a woman she is. And the National Party, well, you know, I'm going to be campaigning for the reintroduction of the live sheep and cattle trades. My family's history as farming people goes back into the late 1800s when we were winning prizes for sheep, my ancestors. And the simple solution of just saying no more, right? It's too simple. And it's appeasing people who don't know how to shear a sheep. I've shorn them with hand blades. Well, crushed them actually. And the farming people, well, hello folks. I went to 2 universities in Perth. I got 1.5 degrees, and I always say I learned more over farmers' kitchen tables and in pubs than I ever did at university. And that is the honest truth. Partly because, especially pubs, I spent probably more time there. And which reminded me about, you know, someone told me once I'm an alcoholic. They said, you're an alcoholic. I looked at them, I thought, who asked this person's opinion? But I thought I'd be polite. So I said, I'm not an alcoholic, I'm an alcoholarian. And I made that word up on the spot, just for that idiot, right? And they said, what's that? What's an alcoholarian? I said, well, I'm not really sure because I just made it up. But I can tell you what an alcoholic is. It's a person who doesn't respect themselves or alcohol. I have great respect for both. And so it's, you know, I'm looking forward to this campaign. I've got extensive networks. I've alluded to some of them. I'm the Sustainability Ambassador for Community Gardens Australia. My mob in Roban, they're Weber, Wonderer, some of the most amazing people I've ever been fortunate to meet, and I've been very fortunate in life meeting a lot of people. And the Roban mob, they're in a category all by themselves. You know, Pilbara men, Pilbara women, and Pilbara kids, Coolanga's, you know, amazing. And we have to, in this country, sort out the rubbish that we've been sweeping under the carpet. And we've been stuck in denial. You cannot gain legal title to anything in Australian or English property law by committing an illegal act. And this country was obtained by murder and rape and all that sort of stuff. In anybody's book, that is totally off. Right? When I say off, I mean it stinks. Right? Our country, I love it. Right? Don't get me wrong. I love this country. I'm proud of it. I'm proud to be Australian. But we got to deal with some shit. We will never be a grown-up nation until, as my mate Les Schultz, Uncle Les, said, we got to stop hanging off the coattails of the English. And the best way to do that is have an Aboriginal sovereign. My vote, Cathy Freeman for Queen. Well, I mean, it's a no-brainer. If you want a Queen in Australia, where would you go to look for her? You'd go to Queensland, and that's where Cathy lives. And what's she doing up there? Looking after kids. She could be doing anything, right? She could be, as she was on TV, Emily, or on Tonight, with that African bloke, Gakau, the good runner, and talking about him, and brings me on to immigration and immigrants. Well, you know, when I was a kid, we cleared land on our farm down at Boyd Brook, and we did it with the help of people who were refugee immigrants from Europe, Italians, not tough buggers, and the Calabrese showed me how to make tobacco and limoncello. I thank them very much for both. But if we think we're going to be living on this country by ourselves, being dickheads to the outside world and our own original people, they're Australasian. Right? The Aboriginal people are part of Australasia. Right? The Asians think, for some reason, I haven't worked it out yet, they think we're racist dickheads. I'll finish on that note. Now, some people think that I'm anti-American, and that's not true. I worked for the biggest fossil fuel multinational, Exxon, or the Australian subsidiary, straight out of university. Right? My favourite technology in the world, I must have one here somewhere. I always have an iPhone or iMac or somewhere around. David uses the same. And Steve Jobs, the guy was a bloody genius. Right? My favourite city in the world is New York. I've had a lot of fun there. The northwest of the States, just magic country. Oregon up there. And then everything in life has a balance or two sides to every coin. And to counteract that stuff, we've got Trump and we've got Dodgy or whatever it's called, Musk. And these people are the antithesis of what I believe our country, Australia, can be and must be, that it's destined to be. And as much as I like parts of America, I've developed a recent fondness for a little country called Bhutan. And the reason is, in fact, the lady who may take over from me in Antar-WA is Bhutanese. And they do not measure their society by gross, I'll repeat that, gross domestic product. They measure it by a happiness index. And the reason I'd like Sangay to take over from me is because she has lived with that as part of her being. And to me, that's how Aboriginal people lived. Right? They want to be happy. They want their country. We want our country to be happy. When our country's happy, we're happy. When our country's suffering, we all suffer. So the Aboriginal people and the Bhutanese in that regard have a lot in common, and we have a lot to learn from them. If we're too stubborn to learn from the blackfellas, let's learn from them. Buddhists, take the middle road. They're simply lovely people, and if we don't have immigrants like them, we're going to have. I got a taxi the other day, and the guy was Pakistani, and fine, no worries, mate. And I ended up not getting the taxi home, and I probably won't ever catch a taxi again. I've never used Didi or any of those things, but I will not pay a person who's going to treat me like an infidel in my own country. If some of the Pakistani people are like that, not all of them, the younger ones have developed a bit more humanity. But I am not giving money to somebody who's going to treat me like an infidel in my own country. Now, the other thing that's very important to me, and perhaps more important than that stuff, is we hear a lot of talk about renewable energy. So what is the original form of renewable energy? And how is it fueled? Well, the original form of renewable energy is human labour, and it's fueled by food. Right? So nobody can go to work without eating food. Right? So why isn't food a tax deduction for the average Australian? It should be. Right? If you have to rent a house, so you've got a stable base to go to work from, why isn't your rent tax deductible? Because the big corporations, I don't hate big corporations, but we have let them get to the stage where human rights take a back seat to corporate rights, where presently, and I'm not being critical of any politicians, when I say this, we live in a corporatocracy. It's not democracy. We want to get our democracy back. And the Americans say they want to make Australia great again. No, America. I got confused a bit. Great. What is great? So this is my portable ashtray. Keep Australia beautiful. Not beautiful again, just keep Australia beautiful. So when we talk about recycling and all that stuff, there's two things that come in front of it. First is respect. Respect for country. Noongars call it budja, we call it nara, right? Doesn't matter what the name is. You've got to have that basic respect for where you walk, for the earth, right? And if you have respect, then the second one becomes second nature. Restore. So if they want, the big corps, if they want to have a label for their products that is, like green steel or whatever, I've got some green steel at home, I could cut it to bits and sell it for a fortune. But we want sustainability, a balance between social, environment and economic. The economy is not there to dominate social, the people, and country, the environment. It's there to coexist with the others. Thank you.